Good evening, Gills fans. Welcome back to another episode of Gills in the Blood TV. It is Monday review as I have a very happy look back at Portsmouth from the weekend. I was one of the lucky 1,551 to stand in the Milton Road end as we came from behind at half time to see off Portsmouth by 3-1. What I described as one of the best performances I've seen in the second half in quite a while. We were that good. Got the Monday edition of the Medway Messenger to hand to help me out. We're still dreaming is the headline. So the big question is, let's have a look at this quote from Steve Lovell, which is going to come up on your screen in a couple of seconds. Can we still get in the playoffs? But I'll let you read the quote first. Here it comes now. As you can see from that picture of our illustrious leader, Mr. Lovell says March is a massive month and every game is a cup tie. He then goes on to add, we have 10 games left and anything can still happen. Can we get in the playoffs? Myself and Dave discussed it in our preview ahead of the trip to Fratton Park last Thursday. We both agreed it was probably improbable, but the gap is down to 5 points. And it keeps getting smaller. So all the time the gap keeps getting smaller, we've got a chance. In the same way that this time last season, we kept asking the question, can Gills get relegated? All the time the gap getting smaller, there was a chance that we could have gone down. We didn't, and it might end up that we don't get in the playoffs similarly, but it's nice to still be talking about the top 6 and not the bottom 4, which we did all of last season, unfortunately. I've had a look at it and I think if we can get 7 points from the next 4 games, which is Blackburn, Bradford, MK Dons and Southend, then I still think we've got a great shout. Only time will tell, obviously. Saturday was a great reaction to what was a poor performance at Bury and the frustrating 0-0 the last time we was at home, which was against Walsall. So we bounced back again under Steve Lovell. It seems to be becoming a trait of ours, which is absolutely superb. So yeah, 7 points from the next 4 if we can do that. So if you say maybe we might lose at the weekend against Blackburn, point at Bradford, beat MK Dons and Southend, but whichever way we get them, I think if we've got 7 points or so from the next 4, then we've still got a great shout. And then the rest of April towards the end of the season doesn't look too alarming. So I think I worked it out. If we take 7 from the next 4, and then if I've predicted correctly, crystal ball. If I say I've said we'll beat Doncaster at home, win at Oldham, draw at home to Rotherham, beat Blackpool, and draw away at Bristol Rovers. By my calculations, if we pick up 7 from the next 4 and then all of them results come in, that would give us 67 points going into the last day of the season against Plymouth. Regardless of what happens between now and the end of the season, though, it's mental to think that that game is going to be anything but a relegation battle, considering where both sides were when Steve Lovell took over as Gills manager at the middle of October. Derek Adams, remembered his name this time, doing a phenomenal job. I know they dropped points at the weekend. I think they drew 1-1 at Fleetwood. I will just double check. Saturday. Yeah, we'll peg back at Fleetwood, but still a decent point on the road. They are still in the playoffs with 54 points from 36 games, so they're 5 points clear of us, same games played. So yeah, both still have a great chance. Yeah, but brilliant to see from both teams. Anyway, that's enough of that. Next up, I am going to talk a little bit more about the game in detail from Saturday. Steve Lovell speaks about on the back page, of the Medway Messenger, despite taking them off at half time, says Lovell praises leading scorer Eves and talks about how he's still done a job in the first half. Top scorer Tom Eves was substituted at the break on Saturday, but Gillingham manager Steve Lovell was keen to highlight his contribution towards the win at Portsmouth. Connor Wilkinson equalised just minutes after coming on for Eves, but Lovell praised the man he replaced. We had a game plan, said Lovell. First half, Tom Eves battled really hard with the centre-halves and beat them up, basically. I spoke to Tom and Connor in the week about what could happen. Tom is not quite on his game at the moment on the ball, but what he gives us in his energy, and he had a big say in the win. He came off at half-time and he would be disappointed, but he did what he had to do. I would have liked to see him do a bit better with the ball, but he didn't. Connor came on and he made a difference to us in the second half. There is no getting away from it. There is always a plan B. Tom has done great for us this year. That is why we started him. But any players are going to have a dip in form with or without the ball. He's having a dip and he is disappointed, but he will come again. He's a good lad and he has scored 14 goals for us this year. So yeah, great to see that he's still praising him, even though he probably didn't have the best of 45 minutes. We said that. Him and Josh Parker first half, we thought, just didn't get in the game at all, and when they did try and have the ball in possession, they didn't do a lot with it. It happens. It's one of them. People don't play well every week. It is League One. We're not the Premier League, La Liga, international footballers. They are footballers in the third tier of English football, and you're not going to be 8, 9 and 10 out of 10 every week. So put it down to a bad game. We move on. Can't change it. React well again, like we've generally done with everything this season since Steve Lovell come on board, and I'm sure Tom Eaves will be fit and raring to go come 3 o'clock Saturday. Carl Boyson, referee, becoming something of a lucky charm, it seems. Read in the paper, 3 times he's refed us this season away from home. 3 times we've won 3-1. So if we can have him for the fixture at Valley Parade and Roots Hall and Oldham and Bristol Rovers between now and the end of the season, that'd be great. EFL, thank you very much. So it's basically 12-15 points guaranteed. But no, a weird stat. I didn't realise it until I read it today when prepping for this vlog. So yeah, 3 times he's refed us and 3 times we've won 3-1 on the road. So thank you very much, Mr. Boyson. Generally, I thought he had an all right game. He made a few weird decisions, but when you win, you tend not to moan so much. Yeah, and then the match report. I always have a look at Luke's match report and the final paragraph. What a difference Lovell has made. In that defeat to Portsmouth back in October, fans will have left devoid of any hope, long or short term. On Saturday, 1,500 Gills fans left for home with a spring in their step, knowing their team are heading in the right direction. I've already spoken about the playoffs. If we don't get there, we don't get there. But we know we've now got a side playing under the guidance of a man who has a plan A, he has a plan B. He's not afraid to make decisions, brave decisions, taking off your top scorer before half-time a couple of weeks ago, hooking him at the break this week. It's been brilliant, it's been phenomenal, it's been unbelievable, it's been sensational. I'm running out of adjectives to describe his tenure so far. As I like to say, long may it continue. But yeah, we're a completely different side to the one that got beat in front of the Sky cameras back in October. That was one of the most abject performances I can remember in a few years. Saturday, second half, one of the best I can remember. For 45 minutes, we were absolutely superb. Every single player. Those that were rubbish first half, let's not dress it up. There was a few out there first half that were absolutely appalling. But they rolled their sleeves up, they dug in, they kept themselves in the game at 1-0. And second half, they went and earned them 3 points massively. If you go through the team quickly, the back 4 were absolutely superb. I can't recall Gabriel Zakwani or Max Amar missing an header or a tackle second half. Mark Byrne, Jake Yes and Tyler were first to every second ball. The fullbacks were brilliant, and in an attacking sense, obviously, we was all there to see it. We were absolutely first class. Right, that's enough of that. Going to move on to talk about one man in particular, though. He's been the subject of much discussion over the last few weeks when he's been in or out of the side, and that is this man coming up on your screen right now. That is our skipper, Lee Martin, who, as you know, scored 2 goals at the weekend. Well, there's debate over one. Connor Wilkinson's claiming it, but Lee Martin said he's not having it anyway. So, plenty of debate. Beginning of the season, I've already said on previous vlogs, I wasn't sure he deserved a place in the side, let alone being captain of the team. Like plenty, under Steve Lovell, he's been absolutely superb. He was brilliant second half Saturday. He was very frustrating first period, and I think me and Dave touched on it at half time in the Matchday Live, that he was just getting involved in stuff that he didn't need to be getting involved in, niggly stuff off the ball, and a couple of times he committed fouls when players were going, you know, down blind alleys and nowhere, and he's running in the back of the people. I know he's probably just trying to, you know, set an example as captain and leader, but he was stepping over the line, and obviously you can go back to the sending off that he got right at the beginning of the season away at Wimbledon when he massively crossed the line. He's not done that since, which is great to see, but there was just a couple of bits. I said to Dave, he's starting to tick here, and I was a bit concerned that if we'd conceded a second, he might have got himself sent off. But again, credit to him, he didn't. Excuse me, he knew where the line was. Second half, absolutely sensational. He might have got a bit of luck with the first goal, but he deserved it, because how many times do you say, if you've got a ball there at that in-swinger, whip it at pace inside the far post. If no one touches it, chances are it might creep in. hallelujah. If someone gets a flick on, it goes in the other side. Exactly what Lee Martin did, put us 2-1 up, and from there we never looked back. And his second goal is absolutely brilliant. I mean, it's still not the best goal of the game in my opinion, but to have the audacity to get your head up and have a look and bend it far post over the top of Luke McGee, who's a decent keeper at this level, he didn't have a chance, and it flew in the top corner. Game one, as soon as that happened, it was like a fire drill. Fratton Park started emptying really, really quickly. He's a very good player, Lee Martin, at this level. He's a very good captain. I am more than happy to eat a bit of humble pie about him. And if you look at his record now, all his goals have come under Steve Lovell this season. He scored 6. Of them 6 goals, 3 have been winners. 1 has been an opening goal. We've only lost once. That was at home to Northampton Town right at the beginning of Lovell's reign. I think it was only his 2nd game in charge, or 3rd. And if you want numbers and statistics, when Lee Martin scores, we have earned 12 points from 15 in those 5 games. So, record speaks for itself. Long may it continue. Yeah, it's been really good, as I've plenty. So, but I thought I'd do a little bit of a focus on him today, and hope that this form continues right now through till the end of the season. I know he picked up a little bit of a knock and came off in the last couple of minutes for Navid Nasseri, hoping it's not a recurrence of that calf problem. Fingers crossed it's just an impact blow or cramp or something like that. But we'll find out in the week, I'm sure, as we get closer to Blackburn on Saturday. Right, for now, a little bit of news in brief. There isn't loads, but it's coming up on your screen. It's already been spoken about on Twitter, but just for those that may have missed it, Ben Chapman is now on loan for a month at Faversham Town, and he made his debut at the weekend. Unfortunately, they lost 1-0, but getting minutes will benefit him greatly. I know he's come back from a bit of an injury, missed a couple of months, so that will do him good if he can get games between now and the end of the campaign, and stand him in good stead for pre-season and next campaign moving forward. And the only other bit of news in brief really is Rotherham, which you've probably seen, has been rearranged for Tuesday, 17th of April, 7:45 kick-off at the Priestfield, and I think all tickets that were purchased for the original fixture are valid, and if not, you can get a full refund at the ticket office. Yeah, that is about it today. Another really positive one. I've watched the Connor Wilkinson goal about 350 million times, it seems. It just gets better and better every time. The first touch is exquisite to lob it over the first centre half. The second touch at the time, I thought he just pushed it too far to the side, but he killed it absolutely dead. It reminded me of like a golf shot with a pitching wedge. Hit the green and just died. And from there on in, we was right behind it at the far post, looking at it at the ground. And as soon as he arrowed that just outside that far post, there was only one place it was going, and that was right in Luke McKee's bottom corner. Absolutely brilliant from Connor Wilkinson. So I hope we can get it out of him more consistently now, because there is a very good footballer in there. Lee Martin scored an absolute beauty as well. Was probably only the 2nd best goal of the game. Shows you how good Connor Wilkinson's strike was. And there was a couple of people on Twitter that said to me that it reminded Dennis Bergkamp. I think the closer one, someone said Paul Gascoigne, Euro 96, that flick. And obviously he's done a bit extra with the second touch. But yeah, that's the better goal for me. For me, it's goal of the season. Plenty of people are still saying Mark Byrne for his hit at home to Bristol Rovers in December. Phenomenal strike. Never seen a ball struck cleaner. But that's an instinctive one hit. Connor Wilkinson's had to have 2 perfect touches before he even thinks about getting the ball into the net. So yeah, for me, Connor Wilkinson's goal of the season at the moment. If it doesn't end up being goal of the season, happy days, because that means someone's going to score an absolute worldie in the final 10 games. Whether we can get in the playoffs, we're still not sure. But we are being allowed to do something that we've not done for a couple of years, and we haven't done it since Justin Edinburgh's first full season in charge, and that is we are being allowed to dream of some success, and let's enjoy it while it continues. We may ultimately come up a bit short, but it's been brilliant, hasn't it, since Steve Lovell took over. We just look a completely different side. Smiles, eyes lighting up, much better from having to talk every week under Adrian Pennant and the back end of Justin Edinburgh. Incredible turnaround. But that's enough from me tonight. I will see you all again on Thursday. It will probably be me on my own, because I don't think Boz will be up to it, unfortunately, as I preview Blackburn and have a look back at anything that's happened in the week. Probably be quite quiet. But until next time, up the Gills.